Hi everyone, my name is Josie Hartshorn, and I'm here to present to you my interpretation of Lord Bateman by Jean Ritchie and my reasoning for my creative choices. So, to start off, my interpretation of Lord Bateman is more like a romantic one because of three main points. The first one is through the musical style that Jean Ritchie uses. Um, as we can see through the playing of the music, that the melody is unembellished. This means that it has minimal instrumental accompaniment, and thus it allows the lyrics to really shine through the story, and really take priority. Because through her use of only one instrument and her chords, we really do have to focus on what she's saying. The second reason is that the story has love story implications. So, because of musical style, we see implications of like the long lost lover returns and that like love travels the distance. Plus, the lyrical focus of love, fate, and loyalty shows us how the Lord's promise, Lord Bateman's promise to his beloved Turkish noblewoman that will eventually be fulfilled. And despite the passage of time, as we see in the lyrics, about 7 years, and despite the pressures of another woman and marital status, we see that their love is inevitably fulfilled and they come together and get married and live together. And in the third reason, we see the storytelling aspects. So, my first thing I noticed was that it has a beautiful rhythm to it, that it adds to the scenery the theme of love, and the way that Jean Ritchie differentiates her pitch not only adds musical effect, but emphasis to the lines and the lyrics, which I think is just beautiful. Furthermore, her emotional tone covers the sense of longing and destiny. This also emphasizes the romantic and somewhat melancholic tone and nature of the tale because throughout the music, we never see her tonage shift. We only see her pitch shift, which I really think adds to like the depth and like the dynamic interplay between music and storytelling. And finally, the pacing of the song, which the pacing really conveys and creates a sense of inevitability of the reunion of the lovers and allows us listeners to interpret the love as meant to be or as if like it was destined. And then furthermore, we can see and the reasoning for each picture, each creative choice in my collage is let me figure out how to share my screen. Uh, Hopefully we can see this. And basically, for each picture, you can see that. Hold on, make sure this is right. Um, there we go. There we go. And essentially, you can see for each choice that throughout the sense of the song, we see themes of like old age times, marriage, gold rings, because we see a castle for Lord Bateman's castle where he inevitably ends up after his escape from the Turkish noblewoman's father's castle. And the same thing we see a jail cell because that's where he was held, and that's where our lovers met initially. Um, we see the wine and the bread, which is the food that the Turkish noblewoman gave him after his weeks in the jail cell, and inevitably what allowed him to recognize his long lost lover on part on to their reunitement. And then we see the themes of marriage. So we see like a golden rings, we see a wedding because inevitably that they promised, they vowed to each other that they would be together and they would get married. And then you see like the writing that true love travels the distance because when he traveled to her and she traveled to him, we saw that the love uh, stayed and that it was something that was destined. And then we see the golden rings, stacked golden rings, because when our noblewoman came back to Lord Bateman in his castle, she was dressed with her finest gold. And so my creative choice to put golden rings was to represent the fine gold that she brought to his castle. Um, we see upper in the right-hand corner, it's a horse with a saddle. And essentially, we see this. I chose this because in the lyrics, before Lord Bateman was reunited with his long lost lover, he was going to get married to his new bride to another woman's oldest daughter because he never thought that um, his lady, his noblewoman, would come back to him. So in the time of she comes back to him, we see that he sends her back unharmed on a horse with a saddle. And then I chose the beach shore because this is where inevitably it like what starts their long love because Lord Bateman was captured on a Turkish shore and this is a beach. This is a Turkish shore. And so essentially it's just like a representation of where their love began and how it started. Yeah, as a whole, that is my interpretation of Lord Bateman by Jean Ritchie and all of my creative choices. Um, so I thank you, and I hope that you enjoyed all of this.